So you guys are ending this preseason undefeated. I have to think feeling pretty good going into the season.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how much we put stock into in those 3 wins. Obviously, a lot of guys in and out of the lineup, but at the end of the day, I think we're happy with the product that we've been putting on the floor. It's as cliche it sounds. We're just focused on the process here, but. I thought the training camp overall, guys battled, guys competed. It's a grind, every team goes through it, but overall I think we're satisfied, but we know the real season starts now.
Mike Hazen this morning talked about competing internally, not just against these teams in scrimmage, but within the roster. How have you seen that? It kind of looks like, at least in this game, that it plays out on the floor. I mean, you guys seem very, very competitive in scrimmages.
No doubt. I think the personnel that we've brought in through free agency, who we drafted, it rises the level of compete, and we're certainly excited about these new pieces. But that's just who we are. I think that's just kind of our identity. We want to get better as a group, and it starts with our vets. Our young guys are coming in and they're pushing ourselves too. So we're super excited with this group and seeing what we got this year.
You talk about new pieces. A lot of those are young pieces, young players. As a guy who's been around this league for a long time, what do you see in them? How do you, I guess as a leader, sort of blend that youth with experience to build a good culture here?
Honestly, they have as much ownership in this team as a 12-year vet. And I think that's been the message is no, you're going to be a big part of this team, whether it's your first year or second year. These guys are going to be key pieces to us, and just to see guys battling out there today, Thomas McConvey, I thought he played a great game, and Ben McDonnell. Some of these guys they're going to step in and be big pieces for us this season.
I mean, you go through last season and into this year, it feels like before the Knighthawks are really a young team with some veterans sprinkled in. This year it feels a bit more like still young, but moving towards the prime for a lot of those young guys, and still a couple less veterans now sprinkled in. Just what is the dynamic of the older guys and the younger guys this season, and how have you seen those young guys step up?
Yeah, I think no doubt we're kind of, if you were to look at a roster, I think we're around that 25. If you were to average our ages, I think we're around 25, and that's for a lot of guys. That's peak years. So we have a good nucleus of players who've been in the league, have some experience. But as far as this group, I think this is like 2 or 3 years. On the D end, you're kind of getting used to playing with guys, and we're keep adding some key pieces here. But it's just exciting. At the end of the day, it's a fresh start for us. Kind of can't wait to see what this group has. They're just good character people, and it's fun to be around.
How nice is it to see that you have at least 3 guys, probably more than that can comfortably guard Jeff Teat during a game?
Well, Teeter is still exceptional player. He's all world. But yeah, I thought our righties who were covering him did a pretty good job tonight. Obviously, Gilray, Reeser, and Gilly saw a lot of him tonight. But again, Jeff's going to get his, and you just got to kind of let him roll. He's all world.
How has it been for you this offseason? I mean, you lose the voice of Paul Dawson, but as an alternate captain for this group and being that veteran presence, just what has the leadership been coming from you, and how have you seen it around the team?
Yeah, obviously losing a guy like Paulie, he was a great leader for us. A lot of guys looked up to him, including myself. So it just sucks. It's kind of like the nature of sports, right? But I think it's not just been one person, it's been by committee, and I think that's kind of been great. It's not just one voice. I think Ethan O'Connor coming in, his addition, he's a great voice. He's been, I think he's got 2 or 3 rings now. He's been to a bunch of championships. So having him there, guys are just stepping up, and I think that's what ultimately is going to lead to success. It's not just one guy. It's going to be our whole team having some ownership in this.
As the season goes on, I bet Coach Hazen will likely harp more and more on defensive scoring, and he already talked about the importance of transition goals. Just not as much today from those defensemen, but how do you get that to generate more and more throughout the season?
Yeah, I think kind of every game's a little different. You're going to see you'll see games where it's like, all right, we're rolling right now. Matt Gilroy's flying down the floor, Reeser, Gilly. But it's a mindset. I think we're still getting comfortable with what we're trying to do defensively 5-on-5, and those opportunities they'll come up. You'll see a rebound and we're getting down the floor.